Hi, I'm Aaron Tippin, country music singer and proud American. And I'd like to take a minute to tell you about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In 2011, I'm teaming up with the Commerative Air Force to bring something that is one of a kind to the American people. I'm going on tour with the world's only flyable Boeing B-29 Super Fortress Fifi. Now, this big old beautiful gal and I are taking the skies together to make stops across the country. Why, you ask? Through this aircraft and my music, we're working to educate Americans on the price of our freedoms and what the men and women of our armed forces continue to sacrifice today for our way of life.
Well, if you ask me where I come from, here's what I tell everyone. I was born by God's dear grace in an extraordinary place.
But I feel mighty privileged to have a real live Marine come up here and accept this plaque with us today. My mighty brother, I didn't bring you out here to embarrass you. I just want you to know that's what America really thinks about you people and what you're doing for us. God bless you. I think one of the times that I'm most proud is when that Marine takes the stage and I see you people come to your feet in appreciation.
Hard work pays off the way it should. Yeah, I've seen enough to know that we've got it good. Where the stars and the stripes and the eagle fly. There's a lady that stands in a harbor for what we believe. And there's a bell that still echoes the price that it costs to be free. No, it ain't the only.
I thought that we ought to do something for these kids today that's unique and different that solves that problem. This is a guy we're going to fly, God willing, in a few weeks down to Brooke Army Medical Center. So he's going to fly in a private airplane. We can drive him up to the airplane. He can ride like a hero that he is.
You look out there and you take back all that love to all your brothers and sisters and everybody you meet in the armed forces, and you tell them that we said, thank you very much for our freedom. God bless you.
By becoming a tour sponsor, you can be part of something incredibly important to our country. Help us bring the stories of freedom to the people. Join us for the CAF's Red, White, and Loud tour starring Aaron Tippin and the B-29 Fifi. You'll never see anything like it again.
Thanks, Aaron Tippin, for that great video about the Red, White, and Loud tour that the Commemorative Air Force is putting on. With me on the stage today is Steve Brown, who is the president and CEO of the Commemorative Air Force. Thanks, Steve, for joining us. What a great and beautiful airplane you have there, and it's the only one flying in the world. So before we get to the airplane, though, let's talk about the tour. How'd that come about? How did you get hooked up with Aaron and that whole backstory?
It was funny. I was watching that video. I get misty every time I hear Aaron sing that song, and it's really something. Aaron and I were together a year and a half ago. I've become friends with him. He's our national spokesman, and I talked with him about the idea of combining the re-rollout of Fifi when her engines came back online to putting it out with his music. And so we decided to not to go to a larger audience by using the airplane and Aaron's country music background to really bring the music and the airplane to the people and really celebrate our freedom that was brought forth by this airplane.
Yeah, it's really inspirational. So the tour is going on through 2011.
Well, right now we're going through 2011. We may go beyond that point. We've had a lot of interest. Right now we've already signed 3 concert venues. Starting a weekend from next, the first weekend in April, actually it's the 8th and 9th of April. We will be in Laughlin, Nevada for the Legends Over the Colorado there in Laughlin. And it's a great event they've got with a lot of warbirds and airplanes, and we'll take Fifi in there. She'll be available for rides. This is the first time ever in the history of the airplane that she's available to purchase rides on. And then we'll have, we've teamed up with the Aquarius Casino, and Aaron will start the concert right there at their amphitheater with the Fifi flying over top to start the concert. So we'll have a really unique concert going on there.
Right. So now the airplane. Give us the history on that unique airplane.
Well, we found the airplane in the early 70s out in Chino, And we went out and saw that it was in a boneyard there and was being used for aerial gunnery practice.
Oh, no.
And so it was at China Lake. We went out there and sent a team in, talked with the Air Force, got the permission. 6 weeks later, we put it in a favorable condition and flew it out to Mercedes, Texas, to our home then. And we've owned and operated the airplane since then and toured her around since 72, basically. And we went down in 2005 because we were having engine problems. The original engines just were not designed to hold up to the type of wear we put on. So we put a new design together, combining two separate parts of engines to combine in a new engine, which is really turning out to be quite reliable for us. So we've already got about 60 hours on the airplane since we rolled her out this past August.
Yeah, what's it like to fly, and how many? What's a typical crew? 3 or 4?
No, the minimum crew we fly with is 6.
Wow. Okay.
And we have scanners in the back to watch the engine. We have a co-pilot, pilot, an engineer, and a flight engineer in a B-29 is very, very important. It does a lot of the work.
I'll bet.
And so we've got that crew, and it's fun. I came out to AOPA Summit. We brought the airplane out. That was really first big public site.
So much fun to watch that thing. I mean, what huge crowds around it, and just to see it and hear it start up and then see it lumber out to the runway and then take off was really a lot of fun.
It was exciting for me. I got to ride in the bombardier seat in the nose when we landed at Long Beach, and just to see the welcome from all the AOPA members was very exciting. So, you know, the airplane is going to tour a lot this year. Besides the Laughlin, we're going to Rifle, Colorado for their air show, and then it was just announced that we're going to EAA Air Venture. So the airplane will be on site right there at Aero Show Square, dead center all week. People will be able to take tours through the airplane. And then on Saturday night, before the night air show, Aaron will go on at Theater in the Woods, and we'll have the Red, White, and Loud Tour concert then with Aaron Tippin there at Oshkosh. So we're very excited to be at Air Venture Oshkosh this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned rides. So how does somebody go about getting a ride in it?
Well, it's great. You can go to the commemorativeairforce.org site, and we've got a spot where you can click over. We go to the B-29 spot and book a ride. Also, if you just show up at the concert venues or at the other venues, not at Oshkosh, it's too hard to have her in Aero Show Square to do rides. But at all the other stops that we do, we're going to Long Island. We'll be doing the Howard Beach, Jones Beach air show. We'll also do the Reading show. You can go on those individual show sites that you see that we're going to attend, or just go to commemorativeairforce.org, and you can click on and book a ride in advance right on the website.
Okay.
Or just show up.
All right, sounds great. One of the great things about being associated with airplanes like that, with a history, and is that people sometimes show up at those airplanes with stories to tell that are relevant. And so what's it like when you hang out with airplanes like that to run into those kind of people?
It's very moving. Oftentimes we'll get pilots or co-pilots or bombardiers or navigators, and they'll go and they'll get in the seat. We'll put them right in the cockpit. They'll get in the seat, and you'll see them reach down and adjust the seat just like it's second nature. They just put themselves right in position, and they get very quiet. And you can see them going back in time. They're reliving back when they were 1920 in the early 20s that they were flying these airplanes. So 70 years seem to evaporate right before you.
Wow.
And they get misty, and they'll start to talk sometimes. A lot of times, family members will hear stories that they've never heard in their entire life, because typically men from that generation are very quiet about it, but then all of a sudden it opens them up and they start talking. So it's a very moving experience for all of our volunteers that work the airplanes.
Yeah. Well, Steve Brown from Commemorative Air Force, thanks so much for coming by, talking about Fifi and the Red, White, and Loud concert tour with Aaron Tippin. We'll look forward to that, and particularly at Air Venture. I want to make sure I get to the concert too. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Great, Tom. Thanks for having me.